All right, now we're on to season 3 of Superman and Lois, as we're counting down to the very end of Superman and Lois, with 2 episodes left in its final season as I'm recording this video. It is insane, but man, with that all being said, I'm going to mention some spoilers in season 3, so if you're not all caught up, get on Max, watch all the seasons, then jump over to the CW and watch the final season. There's 2 episodes left, but watch the other previous seasons, previous episodes in the final season. So that's out of the way. Let's jump right into it. Now we're in season 3, and then we got Bruno Mannheim thrown into the mix, and then by the very last second, Lex Luthor himself. And this time, not, he's being replaced. He's replaced John Cryer. Well, that's in Earth Prime's version, but over here in its own little Earth, now we have Michael Cutlitz as Lex Luthor. But I'll get to him in a second. But Chad Coleman as Bruno Mannheim, he's not, he's not that little bitch boy like he is in the animated series, where he's like Darkseid's a little bitch, and he's they actually gave Bruno Mannheim some balls in this show. And I was like, I can't picture, Chad Coleman, he's a good actor, but I can't picture him as an ass kisser. That's kind of like what Bruno Mannheim, that's how they portrayed him in the animated series. But here, no, they actually gave him a little bit more to, the work off of. And he did really well, to where you almost sympathize with him. Almost. Or he keeps talking about I've done so much for my community. Superman never did this, and yada 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 yada. And but yet he does some fucked up shit in the process too. Yep. And then we have this mysterious character, as onomatopoeia. I know it's as difficult to say as Mr. Mixopitwick, but yeah, it's a DC character. And they did something different with the character, where this character now has a superpower, and it can mess with Superman's hearing and everything, and in the comic, onomatopoeia is a guy, who's really good at, I guess, shooting guns or whatever. But here it's a woman who has a superpower, can mimic her voice, and then do a sonic blast with her mouth. And as you you get through the season, more on that later. Here we they give Lois an arc to where, wow, and then Lois finds out that she has cancer, and then that's been the driving force of the season, where we see her battling through that while Clark is trying to work through being there and staying strong for her during that, while dealing with Bruno Mannheim and whatever he's doing. And while he's coming up with all these experiments on people who given them powers and such or whatever, turns out all these specimen lab rats, they're all people who have have diseases, terminal illnesses, and you want to see if this experiment can cure them. And you understand why he does that. It's to save his wife, who happens to be onomatopoeia, and it's just Pia Mannheim here. And when it got to that reveal, I wasn't really that surprised. Okay, it makes sense now. and the way they I have to say, the way they handled the cancer thing, it didn't just focus on just Lois. We're not just going to focus on how it's affecting Lois. We also see how it's affecting Clark, Jordan, and Jonathan. I feel that's something they could have done a little better in season 1, where we find out that Lois had a miscarriage, and we just focused on how painful that is for her. And we didn't really see if, okay, how does Clark deal with that? Is he hiding it? And that's his kid too that he lost. How is he dealing with that? But they did, she did tell Jonathan about the miscarriage, and then there was that done really well. But I feel they could have done a little bit more with that. But I guess they're they're kind of making up for that with the cancer like storyline, and has like I feel like that's been handled really well. And yes, season 3, I do have minor gripes in season 3. One of which is having Kyle find out that Clark is Superman. We did not need that. It wouldn't hurt the story if you didn't know that. And I forgot to mention that Chrissy finding out that Clark is Superman, or being told that he's Superman in season 2. That's another minor gripe I forgot to mention. We didn't need that. We didn't need it, but it didn't mess with my excitement for the show or anything. I was like, it's not really necessary. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But Jordan's getting better with his powers. He's getting stronger. He's getting trained. I feel like he is getting close to discovering all his powers. He discovered, like flight, super strength, freeze breath, and super hearing. He just has to figure out X-ray vision, and that's what he found out by the end of the season. Like, okay, he didn't discover that yet, so let's have him discover it. And another thing about the powers, I don't know if you've noticed, like in Smallville, if you did watch Smallville, like with the heat vision, like where it's like a hormonal, like like when you feel a certain way, like where you're feeling like you're getting aroused or whatever, and then that triggers your heat vision, like their heat vision or Clark's heat vision in Smallville. I feel like over here in Superman and Lois, what triggers that heat vision is anger. Because whenever we see Jordan really angry, or Clark, and even Clark, where he's really angry, his eyes start to light up, and Jordan's eyes start to light up too, like when they're getting really angry. So that's a pretty cool change. I like that. Like where, okay, anger ought to trigger the heat vision. And yeah, it's getting to where Jordan, okay, well, he needs to get a suit and then give him a little an alias, like to put on when he's out there doing his thing. But he gets kind of reckless over this season, like where he's letting people see him. Not really like, oh, look at me, I'm Jordan, but I mean like where he's being like where he's feeding in all the attention that he's getting, like where he stays to take selfies with people, like, oh my god, oh, it's you. Like, you're being reckless, buddy. Not to mention when we get to near the end of the season where they wrap the Bruno Mannheim thing up, and then Lex Luthor is tied into that, like where now with that wrapping up, like where he was framed for something that he didn't do, like, okay, now he has to be let out of prison. And I gotta say, Michael Cudlitz, his portrayal is like the most scariest and unsettling portrayal of Lex Luthor to date. That's definitely a breath of fresh air after that god-awful Jesse Eisenberg. Like, man, what the hell are they thinking? He's a good actor. Jesse's a good actor, but for that character? I felt the same way. Like, I was like when they announced Michael Cudlitz as Lex Luthor, I'm like, okay, that's kind of odd. Abraham Ford from The Walking Dead? Huh? But I said, okay, let me see what this guy's got. Let me give him a chance. And man, he is fucking scary. Fucking scary. Where I felt scared for anybody that he has his sights on. Like, holy fuck. And then, remember when we thought, okay, that's Doomsday in season 2? Okay, it's not Doomsday, it's Bizarro. Well, they bring back Bizarro, and he becomes Doomsday, thanks to Lex Luthor. Well, I mean, Bruno Mannheim got the body, and he's trying to use his blood for his experiments or whatever. When it gets to the very end, and by the end of the season, where Bizarro is awake, and he's not really there, and Lex Luthor comes across him, and then he turns him into Doomsday to kill Superman. And then we get to the finale, where Superman versus Doomsday. Like, that is so cool. I watched that multiple times. Like, so awesome. So fucking awesome. And then it ends on a cliffhanger. Like, I hope they get a season 4. If you stop here, I'm going to be so pissed the fuck off. But thankfully, they gave us at least one more season to wrap things up. Like, they should have kept it going a little bit longer, but it is what it is. I'll get to that. when I share my thoughts on the final season of Superman and Lois. But right here, with Superman and Lois season 3, I'm probably gonna give it another solid 9 out of 10. Man, what an awesome season! And I know I didn't mention Natalie being thrown into the mix in season 2. No, she's a good addition to the show. To John Henry Irons, like his daughter. Like, I wish that they would put that Superman into the mix to give them some closure, but I guess he didn't make it through the portal when John Henry came over to this Earth from his Earth to this Earth. I don't know, missed opportunity in my opinion. But yeah, this season was really, 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 really good. And when the final season wraps up, I'm going to share my thoughts on that without a doubt. So, with that all being said, if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, notification bell, all of that fun stuff. So, yeah. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So, until then, when we talk about the final season, take care. There you go. All right. See you guys later.